Everybody's hitting the studio making diss tracks. Chuck's on rollerblades trying to get Miami back. And who's putting roots on who? I'm confused. Let's get into the latest episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami now. What's up, y'all? It's your girl V with Reality Recap here for another Tea Talk session. And today we are covering last night's episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami, which was a cackle to say the least. Before we get into it, let's take care of some business. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads at Reality. That's REALITEA_recap. And like this video, please share it, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's coming across the bottom of the screen, Reality Recap 2876. It's also in my bios. It's linked there for you to easily access if you're on my social media platforms. And set your alerts so you don't miss any of my Tea Talk sessions covering all the trending reality TV shows. All right. So let's get into it because I cackle watching this. I swear. We start off with Michael Blackson in the last episode. Towards the end, we know that Rada and Nadia had a sit down. It didn't go well. Rada left that sit down upset at the amount of information Nadia knew about her from her kids, where they live, her troubles with getting pregnant, and also telling Rada, that Michael's still sleeping with Nadia. So she left that conversation upset. She moved out of her home with Michael, but let Nadia tell it. They don't live together, never lived together, and don't even live in the same state. So let her tell it. It's all for TV. So she moved out. I'll put up the quotes. She moved out, and he had his longtime ex lover Boots over the house, and he was cooking her breakfast. I told y'all he was burning brown and served sausages for her. So that's where we start off in this episode. He sits down eating them burnt sausages with Boots, and he's still pillow talking. This should further let Rada know, if she was watching this, how he move. He tell too much of Rada's business to everybody else, and now including Nadia's business, just of what's going on and how he got both of them pregnant, close together, that Rada left him upset, and he wants Nadia to go back to California. He's just telling his business to anyone that will listen. He needs to button up that lip. But he's telling Boots that Boots gives us more insight. And if you watch my interview with Nadia, it's very similar to what Nadia said, where Boots is pretty much saying that Rada is in this relationship with Michael, knowing that he still wants to see and sleep with other women. She acts like she's okay with it, but then she tries to run the other women off. And Nadia pretty much said the same thing, that Michael's telling her, or maybe she's not okay with it, but he's telling the women something different. But Rada clearly isn't okay with, I guess, what he's doing. She has these rules that she's expecting him to follow, which, again, from what I hear, those rules weren't actually put in place when she signed up to live this lifestyle, just something she wants done now because the dynamic is changing, or because she was pregnant and had a child. But Nadia had the same experience where she's being told that, oh, Rada's okay with him seeing other women, and she doesn't care. You can come over the house or whatever. And when Nadia said she met Rada in person, she was not okay with the situation. So Boots, their stories are parallel. And Boots said that they had a back and forth spat online. Her and Rada went back and forth online. They showed a clip of it. and she felt a way about Michael not defending her or stepping in to diffuse the situation. Like, yo, get your girl. She know what it is. Why is she acting like this? So it went from serving breakfast to talking and saying how they want to see more of each other to Boots getting really upset that he didn't defend her in this feud with Ryder that seems to have happened a long time ago. I mean, looking at the old video of Ryder's face from then to now, you could tell there's been a plethora of surgeries of Botox injections since that actually happened. So I don't understand why it went so left so quick, but she's yelling at him, standing up in his face, like, "Yeah, you supposed to defend me. You ain't fucking defend me." Da, da, da. She's going off on him. Security steps in. Now he's telling her, get out. He's throwing her clothes over the staircase banister, talking about something, take you in your dirty drawers or your period underwears and get out of here. He throwing two, three, four pairs of underwear. I don't know if she was supposed to stay for a while or what, but she ends up getting kicked out in her robe. And he says it's a mistake to have had her over there. So that was very short lived. It was a one episode, or I guess you could get pretty much one episode romance. If you count the 5 minutes last episode to this one, not even. It was a 10-minute romance altogether, and she got kicked up out of there. But yeah, I thought we was gonna see more of them. She's still saying though, as she gets kicked out, that she's gonna see Ryder in the streets, that she gonna have to see her. So she still has a score to settle, but we'll see if they ever come in contact now that she done got kicked out and he don't want to mess with her no more. Heaven's in the booth. Heaven, aka Gael, is in the booth and making what she calls a Christian diss track. I had no idea what she was saying. She was offbeat. It was whack, of course. And Tip visits her in the studio to yet again talk about Amada. Nothing else going on for Tip but talking about Amada. So she's now again. I was saying if I see one more flashback of her of Tip and Amada at her podcast show where Amada stormed out and she say trashed her studio, I don't want to see that clip anymore. We keep seeing that clip. Like, why? So she's telling the story yet again of what happened when Amada came to the studio, that's her op. But she also mentions that Chuck, she sees someone coming past her house on security cameras leaving flowers and cards every single day. And she knows that it's Chuck and he's trying to get back with her. So also Gael says in that conversation that she wants to talk to Amada, that she's having these because now she's a prophet on top of making Christian diss tracks, that she wants to tell her that there's someone around her in her group that is not on her team and is not someone that wishes her well. So she's going to dig into that and try to meet up with Amada. We then see Amada. She's ducking the entire city. She's dressed in a disguise with sunglasses and a bandana in this sketchy bar because she feels like she's being blacklisted after she turned up on Gael at Amada Day. So all of a sudden, all of the city is turning against her. I'm like, girl, these storylines be a mess. Who makes some of these storylines? I swear. But Amada meets up with Liza, and I forget the other girl name because we don't. She just an extra at this point. The one, I mean, I think she has a pretty solid music career. The one with the blue finger waves. I don't know her name, but every time she's in the scene, it's just as an extra or to add extra commentary. So Amada sits down with them and tells them that she thinks Gael is putting roots on her because every time she's around her, something bad's happening. No, it's just Gael. Gael is the roots. Okay. There's drama everywhere she goes. She gotta clock in to get that paycheck. So Amada wants to meet with Gael and she wants Liza to go with her as a backup. Like, but you think this girl doing putting roots on you and you want me to meet with her too? And Liza said yes, or signs up for it. So they make that plan. Uh, Trick plays pickleball now. He brings Kent in his pimp suit. I mean, all the way down to the glittery shoes, long trench coat, fedora hat to play some pickleball against Michael Blackson and somebody else, all because he wanted to get them in the same room to talk about what happened. Because the last time we seen Kent, we know that he was meeting with Michael Blackson and Rada and his girlfriend, and they all left and left Michael Blackson at the table because she was so upset finding out that Nadia had a baby as well. So they fake beefing, going back and forth, roasting each other. And again, Michael telling all his business of what's going on. He's saying, Rada left and he's still calling Nadia a side chick. Not the case in my opinion, but they're giving him advice. The last two people on earth I would take advice from is Eat a Booty Gang Trick Daddy and Clint the pimp. But he's taking advice and he's basically telling, well, weigh your pros and cons on which one of them bringing more to the table. What selfish men, I swear. Just worried about what they can drain out of these women and who can you drain more out of. Telling them, well, you have to weigh your pros and cons, take care of home. You're going to have to make one your woman and the other one you're going to have to let go. If he wanted to do that, we wouldn't be in this situation now, would we? But Michael seemingly is going to take this advice and figure out who he wants to choose. And now is he going to get rid of one? I doubt, but that's what they're telling him to do. And he's shaking his head like they make great sense. Like just three stooges. We didn't get another disc record. We got Nadia in the studio, and she in the studio talking about something. Why don't you ask him how many times he come at me? What? I was cracking up. I did see Nadia say on her page that they edited, took pieces and pieces of here and here to make that song what it was. So I guess we could all hear these explicit rap lyrics of, saying that you talked about Bastide, how many times did he, letting off at me, all of that. So she was saying that the way they cut it, the song didn't make sense. Made perfect sense to me. It was a whole lot of dissing going on. But she invites Claudia Jordan, to the studio to meet up with her. And Claudia sits down to hear her side of the story. And Claudia's saying, well, he's telling you one thing, he's telling her another thing. Are you guys still sleeping together? Nadia confirms that yes, they still are. And Claudia's saying, well, maybe it's not you or Rada that's the problem. It sounds like it's Michael Blackson that's the problem. It's like, duh, Claudia. Been telling y'all that from the beginning. We always, as women, are mad with each other, but continue to see the man and let him get off scot-free when he's the one lying. Like, do you really think that he's telling you the entire truth about another woman when he lied about this other woman existing in the first place, or being pregnant in the first place? Like, I don't understand why in the sit down they could not, with Rada and Nadia, why they couldn't just compare notes, and why Rada came in so hot and mad at her when you signed up for an open relationship. Nadia don't know these rules you put into place. She only know what he telling her. So why not compare notes and really understand what's going on instead of being mad at her and going back and forth online with her? Talk to your man. So I don't know why Claudia is acting like she found out some groundbreaking information. It's like, duh, it's always the man in the middle. But they decide to put a plan together to ambush Michael, where they're gonna all meet with him together. They being Nadia, Rada, and Claudia gonna pull up on Michael at the same time. Ching is back in this episode. She was in the studio too. Everybody's in the studio and off beat. Just being honest. I don't know if it's because they're bleeping out the curses or what, but Ching was in the studio. Her sister came to town because they haven't seen each other since the last blow up with her sister and Quez. And her sister still feels the same that she needs to move on from Quez. He's a loser. They don't want her messing with him. He keeps cheating. He keeps leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back, taking care of the baby, not taking care of the baby. But come to find out, Quez has been in Miami this entire time. Shocker. And they're trying to make a little family, and Quez has found a job and taking care of the baby. But he wants a paternity test because there's a chance that this baby is not his, that Ching's newborn baby is not his. And she's hesitant the to get the DNA test because now they're becoming this little family and she don't want it to end if it comes out that he's not the father. But it's like he has a valid point. He has valid feelings, right? Like, why would you want to be attached to a baby where there's question that it couldn't be, that it's a possibility that it's not yours, and you get attached and then find out that it's not. So we'll see what happens if she gets the DNA test, but she's definitely dragging her feet because he wanted it since the baby was born. And she's dragging her feet to get it. I don't know why he can't just go to the drugstore, go to CVS or something and get the test and swab the baby, swab him, put it in the tube and mail it off and get the why he gotta wait for her to do it? Is that against the law or something? I don't understand. It ain't against the law if he there taking care of the baby all the time and she gone and she at the studio and working and doing all this stuff. I'd be on swab that baby while she ain't there and found out and figure out if I'm going on about my business or not. Gael and Amada, they have their meetup, and Gael's talking about she heard from her digging down in Little Haiti that Liza went to see a mambo. We seen them a mambo before, right? We seen the mambo where Flo went to see the mambo, and now they're saying that Liza went to see the mambo. Liza, we find out Liza actually did go see a mambo, but it wasn't to put voodoo or roots on Amada. Apparently, it was more so for a spiritual bath. But now Amada's questioning it. She's like, well, why didn't you tell me you went to do this? And I don't know what to believe. Now Liza taking off her sneakers and throwing them across the car at Gael. Security gets involved. So I don't know what's going on, but it's the dumbest thing ever. Like, it's just giving filler storyline nonsense. So I don't know what happened at the Mambo, but they're saying that Liza asked for a bottle of perfume and they trying to tie that to Liza taking the perfume to do the roots. I thought you needed a piece of hair or something to do roots. And you just need a product being sold by the person. It none of it makes any sense to me. But it's just giving filler nonsense. And Amada doesn't know who to believe. And Amada fall out with a friend every other episode. If it ain't Shay, it's Liza. So we'll see where they go from here. Michael makes this grand gesture. He has this place set up with flowers and signs and a downtown jewelry store diamond necklace that he wants to give to Rada. He finally gets her to answer the phone and to meet with him, and he sits her down and tells her all about how he loves her. He's sorry for everything he put her through in the pregnancy, and he shouldn't have done that, you think? And Rada's saying back to him, you put me through a lot of stress. A woman can only take so much. And that she is worried about her son seeing how he treats her or seeing all of this play out later on in life. So she needs a break from him. And she has a little surprise for him where in the middle of their conversation, knock on the door, and in walks Nadia and Claudia, and he looks shook. And that was our cliffhanger for this episode. And we'll see what happens with that sit down. I mean, what I can tell you is that they still have been feuding back and forth online as late as this week. So Nadia's gone back and forth with Michael online. She's gone back and forth with Claudia online. She's sometimes with Michael, going out to dinner, doing things. So I have not seen Rada post any pictures with Michael in a long time, but she put up a post recently too just kind of saying that, he made her look like a fool. If it's still up, I'll read it to you. But she said, "What he tells the world and what he tells me behind closed doors are two completely different stories. I was a fool for thinking being his woman," and she put that in quotation marks, meant honesty. So, yeah, I can't say it enough. If you open your relationship for dating or being with other women, expecting a man to follow guidelines of only one night stands, not getting hooked to a woman, not sleeping with them more than once, it's just you're subjecting yourself to whatever comes along with that. Whether he starts to like one of them or sleeping with one over and over and over again, you put yourself in that position. So here we are, and we'll see what happens with this sit down, because Michael had really told Rada that he sent Nadia back to LA, and he come pulling out some paper like he printed from a Hewlett Packard printer to show her the confirmation that he got her a ticket to go back home. Yet here she is standing there with Claudia. And I'm sure Rada knew that Nadia was going to be there. So I guess that was just another lie to add to the list that he told her that wasn't even true. So, but yeah, it was a great episode. I cackled. The diss songs were hilarious at this point. Give us a soundtrack of this season so I could bump all of these diss tracks in my car. But those are my thoughts on the latest episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Don't forget to tell me yours in the comments. Like this video, please share it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's coming across the bottom of the screen right now. Reality Recap 2876. And follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads. Always give you my live thoughts as I'm watching these shows at Reality, which you see at the bottom of the screen, REALITEA_recap. Now, before I get out of here, as I always say, reality TV stars are humans too. Let's not forget that. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Peace.